What we have here is a failure to communicate. Right, so this bike used to be a Sturgis. It's got some custom tanks, they're outside. That's an FLT front end, and we put on those 2/FX tubes. So now she actually has a stance instead of nose diving. Crazy, crazy. I just don't know what to do with this mess. Look at that. Ain't that pretty? So the reason I put this one on is anytime you've got your engine out, or your transmission out, or your engine and transmission out, which we did on this baby, you want to do an alignment. You don't just bolt shit down, and then, because you will break your inner primary. Even on FXRs and stuff I do this. So everybody's loose, tranny's loose. Now I got the tranny plate torqued down, but I got the transmission loose in the plate, right? And so you just feed your just feed this on. I'm going to bolt this on, those two, these two, these two, and those two, and then I'm going to go to the other side of the bike and I'm going to torque down the engine and then torque down the tranny, everything I can reach. Then I'm going to pull this back off and then finish torquing down this side. Listen, man, I know you're in a rush. I know everything's about McDonald's these days. Blah, blah, blah. Hollywood. Done. Think about it and it's done. But if you don't do a proper alignment when you've had your engine or transmission out, you will break your inner primary, and that's a guarantee. Let's see what else we got going here. I did a film yesterday for an update, but I'm not sure if I'm going to show that one. Let's see what we got going here. So we changed this pulley because he was missing the inner plate. Maybe that's why the belt was so tight. Like, I don't know, man. But what I do know is it wore out that bushing, and that's why we had to pull the tranny. Other than that, the transmission was awesome. Let's see. Oh, these pins, like this brake's designed to float, and somebody had used lithium. And remember, I don't know if you remember or not, but in other films I was saying how I don't use lithium because if stuff sits for any length of time, it gets really hard. So we actually used anti-seize. Can you imagine using anti-seize on floating brake pins? Let's see. So we had to do that. We had to do the front. We did the same thing with the front. Clean those off. Got rid of the... See, there's my anti-seize right there. Oh, geez. Look what I got. Look what came out of the bike. That's what we had for an air cleaner or air filter. I could think of a few words to say about it. I found this one. This is an old one. Now this is a Super B, and Super E's and G filters will not, or elements will not fit in the G. Yeah, that one's crap too. But you know what I do got? I believe I have a K&N in that one. That's a B. I like my B's, so I will have to sacrifice it for the Tomster, the Green Goblin. That's what I call this thing, the Green Goblin. And look at, and we got this. Okay, we're gonna get rid of that archaic piece of art, and I'll put an electronic one with a diode, which is about this big. This is like the very last year Sturgis, which came with an Evolution engine. There was only so many of them built. So this would be an FX SB. Right? That's not the correct fender for it. That's not the correct front end for it. The tanks aren't the correct. I don't know what this is. It reminds me of a witch's tit. It's kind of gross. I don't like it. And these are not correct. These are 1981 and down buttons. It should have had the bigger ones. So, you know, somebody spare parted this up. There should have been a belt drive in that primary. There isn't. It's all wet. It's all wet stuff. What else? Okay, that's about it. So what we'll do is I'll bolt this down. Then I'll torque down what I can reach from the other side of the bike. Then I will pull this off, finish torquing it down, and then I know when I put the primary on, there's no stress on the inner primary, and it will not crack or break. So that's the goal right now. Oh, I was going to ask you guys. He's got the stock ignition in this. Yeah, more beautiful wiring. I know. I've got a set of. I got a set of coils and an older Crane high force single fire. I'm just wondering if I shouldn't put them on or not, but I don't know if the guy that owns this thing can compensate me for my coils. Yeah, see, I got these Dyna 3 ohm. You can get these in 1.5 ohm and 3 ohm. I like the 1.5s. That's what I put on my brother's bike originally, I believe it was. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. I just don't know if the owner can compensate me, so because these coils are not cheap. But whatever. We'll figure it out. Cheers.